Good morning, everyone. We're not really working on anything today, but I wanted to give you an update as far as things that we've been doing lately. We have been so busy from the time we get up until the time we go to bed. It's just a constant, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, and from the time we get up to the time we go to bed, just busy, busy, busy. So I wanted to give you an update on a few things. You saw the video where we started milling up a tree. Well, we had a neighbor cut down a couple of trees for us here, and so we want to get around to milling those in time. Right now it's spring, it's 80 degrees out today, and we got a lot of other things to do. But something I wanted to show you, we did cut some of our own lumber and we made this rabbit hutch. It still needs some wire on the bottom all the way around, except for right here. This is a door, and this is a door, and this is a door. So we made this out of the lumber that we were milling up. Everything except for these corners right here. This one, and this one, and the two on the back. Those are just some 2x4s that we had. But the rest of it is totally out of lumber that we milled up. Oh, and these sides here, right here, these sides right here, is some old boards that Ocean had got off of the neighbor's old barn that fell down. So let's see if I can show you the inside of it. We still need to put a handle on for the top. So there's a divider right here. Rabbits can go into there, and on this side they'll be protected totally from the weather. They come down here, go down the ramp, and eat some grass. So that's what we've done first with the lumber that we milled up. And there is a reason that we made a rabbit hutch. We went to the livestock auction that they have in Florida here, which, you know, we're not in Florida, but it's about 45 minutes from here. Well, we went down there looking for some pigs because we want to raise some pigs so that we can have our own pork. You don't actually make the pork, but we want to grow our own pigs for some pork. And while we were there, we picked up a couple of bunnies. I don't know if you can see that with the sun shining, but there's two little bunnies in there. If I can get my shadow out of the way. So we also want to raise rabbits, meat rabbits. Don't know what kind they are, don't know if they're male or female, but they were cheap, so we picked them up. Now, before we went down to that auction, we were really hoping to pick up some pigs, like I said. So before we went down there, we actually threw together a quick pen to put some pigs into in case we did manage to buy some. So that's this here. We fenced in an area here, and back to this tree, for some pigs, just in case we did manage to buy some, which we didn't. They didn't have any small young pigs. We have this for shelter, but the roof blew off in some wind because we didn't screw it down. This is the crate that the sawmill came into. We just flipped it upside down and we covered the sides with some metal, and that's a piece of metal that goes up on the top for a roof. So we have that we got done. And my battery is blinking, so I will be right back. The other thing we've been working on is garden stuff. So here we have, if I can get my shadow out of the way, here we have the tomato plants. These are all the tomato plants that I had started. There's quite a few of them in there, and they are ready to go in the garden. And here are the pepper plants. I posted a video when I planted these pepper seeds, and for some reason they're kind of short. I thought they'd be a lot taller by now. They're growing pretty well, but they're short. Over here are some sweet potatoes. This is my first time growing sweet potatoes. I've got 11 of them there. So if you don't know how to start sweet potatoes, these are my sweet potato slips. It's very, very bright out here, I'm sorry. But these are the sweet potato slips. You just take your sweet potato and put some toothpicks in it and set it in a glass of water, and the slips will sprout. You just take these and you pop them off, and you can either put them directly into some dirt, or you put them into some water and let them root, and then plant them. This is cilantro here. It's doing well. Okay, so let's take a walk up to the orchard, and I'll show you what we've been working on as far as the garden goes. We did pick up a few more chickens. We got a couple from the sale. And since we didn't get any recommendations for the rooster, his name is Ruby. Eddie likes to pick on me because I gave him a girl's name, but he's a rooster and his feathers are the color of a ruby, I think. So anyways, I named him Ruby. Now, if you remember my video on the greenhouse did great. We got some stuff started and everything, but we don't need the greenhouse for the summertime. So we actually turned it into the chicken coop right now. We just took the cover off and we covered it up with some netting that I have from my bird business that I had in Colorado. But we covered it with netting, so it's still usable as a greenhouse. Come the fall, we just put the greenhouse cover back on it and we can still use it as a greenhouse. Now this is where we did have the greenhouse, right here. And as you can see, the garlic is getting super tall. But I've never tried to grow garlic, so I'm not sure if it's gonna make. The onions are still growing, but they haven't gotten any bigger. They're still pretty short. And here is the lettuce blend that I planted. This is the Rocky Top lettuce. It finally started sprouting. Everything for some reason was like stunted and it wasn't doing anything. This is kale. And the spinach still hasn't decided to grow. I don't know. I don't think we're going to get spinach this year. And the carrots that I started in these buckets, they're finally starting to sprout up. Here's my broccoli. My broccoli has done the best out of everything. We got a nice head of broccoli right there. We got lots of broccoli. We've picked a little bit here and there. The celery, getting pretty big. We've picked some celery. Now, we've been making garden beds from slabs that we cut from the trees, and I think we decided we needed about 32 beds, but it takes a lot of slabs to do that. These are the beds that we've got done so far. So there's an empty spot right in here because I need to put a bed in there for sweet potatoes. This bed here is empty. This bed is a strawberry plant that I bought from Lowe's, I think. And it's doing great. It's got some strawberries on there. Like I said, this spot here is waiting to build a bed here. This is going to be sweet potatoes. This bed here, I am really shocked at this bed. These are my potato plants. So let's see, down here I planted some white potatoes. I think these last 2 rows are white potatoes, and then all of that is red potatoes. But they are doing great. And around here, you have to start your potato plants on February 14th. Now in this next bed, we have peas. They're doing very nicely, but I'm worried it's gonna get too hot for them. We got some carrots in here. They're about 1 inch tall. This next bed is some broccoli that has just sprouted. And here we have some cauliflower, also just sprouted. And here we have some peas. These are climbing peas. The other ones were bush peas, from what the package said. And these ones are putting out the tendrils to climb the fence. And they're doing very nicely. I hope they make, because peas are just one of those things. Peas are a cold weather crop, and we seem to have gone from winter to summer. We had a couple of nights that got in the 30s. I think we even had a couple that were like 28, 29. And then once it started warming up, it just went from like 50 during the day to 80. So I don't know if this is typical. I don't know. I really don't know what's going on. So I don't know if peas are going to make it around here. And now Eddie and Ocean went to get some manure, some aged manure, so that we can fill up a bunch more garden beds. And we have cut some slabs out of that last tree for some garden beds. So hopefully they get some manure today. There's a farmer down the road that has some, but his field's been wet because of all the rain that we've had. So they're waiting for his field to dry up, but they went to check and see if they could get some. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they do. Okay, I bought this here. This is a blueberry bush that we got from Wally World. And we wanted to get it planted and see if it would survive, because I don't know how well blueberries do here. So we got it, we put it in the ground, see if it survives. We also put in a few fruit trees this year. I don't know if they all survived. I know a couple of them did, but I'll show you those here. We have we have my shadow in the way, sorry. Okay, here we have a fig tree. It's about 2 feet tall. It does have some green growth on it, right there. So it is still alive. And then these 2 trees here, we still have no idea what they are. Hopefully we'll find out this year. There is this one here and this one here. They're all flowered out. Here's what the leaves look like. If anybody happens to know what this is. And I'll show you a flower. There's the flowers. So if anybody knows what kind of tree this is, leave it down in the comments, because I don't know. It's going to be a surprise. If it makes some fruit this year, we'll be surprised to find out what it is. Okay, here's another tree that I bought. This is a plum tree. It has some leaves on the ends here. So it's still alive. We planted these probably about a month ago. Here's another plum tree. Now this one does not have any growth on the ends, but I noticed yesterday there is some growth. There is some growth way down here at the bottom. I don't know if that shows up because it's so small, but so there is some growth on that one. Now these are probably about 4.5 feet tall. And then we bought, the last two that we bought are some peach trees, Georgia peach. They have not shown any signs of growing. There's this one, it's probably 6 feet tall. You probably can't even see it. It's so thin. Ouch. So yeah, it goes way up there. It's taller than I am. And this one over here is the second one. So we've got this one here too. This one's probably about 6 feet tall. So yeah, those ones don't show any growth on them. So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe they start growing later than the others. I don't know. Now the satsuma trees, there's satsumas all over the ground. I don't know if you can see that. We did not get them all sold. Let's see if I can zoom in for you. Okay, so there are satsumas all over the ground there. We did not get them all sold, and they started to get really soft and gone by on the trees. So we've been working on stripping them all off the trees. You would think in Mother Nature they would just fall off and then the tree would start making some more. But there's so many still in the trees that I wanted to go through and just cut them all off. We have made some orange juice. We made a lot of orange juice out of oranges that are still good. So we've been doing that. I made some more jelly. That's about it. I think that's about all we've been up to. One other thing I did plant is I planted that asparagus into the ground. So here is the asparagus that I started from seed that we picked up in Colorado. This is wild asparagus, which I don't know where wild asparagus started from, but they look nice. So those have to grow for a couple of years before you can harvest anything on them. I think it takes 3 years. About the third year they say you can harvest a little bit. But so that's what we've been up to. Today I have a very busy day. I started 2 loaves of bread this morning. They're rising right now, and I need to make some pasta. I make all of our own spaghetti. I make all of our bread. English muffins for mini muffin pizzas. If you've ever had those, they're wonderful. But I make all of that from scratch. So that's what I'm working on today. So I just wanted to give you guys this update and let you know what we've been up to and what we've been doing. But for now, I have got to get back to cooking. I got to make my pasta dough now. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Give it a thumbs up, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.